After you've identified that certain people are behind the scenes of the decision, in fact they wield a certain degree of influence over the outcome that transcends the formal evaluation process. Perhaps they're a subject expert, perhaps they're a senior level executive, or perhaps they're a manager somewhere whose needs are at the heart of the project, and they're the very reason why the people you're talking to are actually engaged in speaking with suppliers. Well, once you've identified who those people are, it's important to get across the table with them. The best way of doing this is actually by asking for a referral through the person that you're currently meeting with. Now, some customers will happily give this. You can say to them, you know, in talking with different customers, many times we've spoken to people who sit in their seat. In fact, a lot of the discussions that I've had with clients this year involve people who have your job title, but they also involve people who have their job title. How about we go talk to them together, and I can use my expertise to dig out some of their additional needs and understand their situation better so that I can do a more professional job of creating the right solution that's going to do the job that you want it to do. Now, some customers will say that sounds perfectly reasonable. I'll set it up. You can say, well, are they in the office today? Maybe we can drop by their desk as you walk me out. Or you could say, while we're sitting here, would it be possible for you to ping them an email? Here's my card with my email address, and get an introduction to them. Let them know that next time I'm coming to meet you, it would be ideal if they could join us. We can have a workshop session together. So some customers will say that's perfectly reasonable. Sometimes, however, you might find customers that get a little bit territorial and they say, no, you know what, let me know the things that you want to ask them, and I'll find out that information and bring it back to you. Some people that you're meeting with, if they're involved in shaping the decision criteria, or they're the project manager, or they're the main interface with different suppliers, they might want everything channeled through them. This is quite common, so how do you get past that? Well, a good approach might be to say, well, okay, that'd be fine. If you could channel some of the questions, it might cover some of the ground that you've already covered in creating your evaluation criteria. That would be great. But there might be some nuggets there. I mean, of course, remember, I sell these solutions every day. You maybe buy them once in a blue moon. So it's hopeful that I've got some expertise to bring to the equation with some topics that maybe are some of the nuances that sound like they're small things, but they can make a big impact on the quality of the outcome. That's the value that I would hope to bring. So let me bring a few of these suggestions to you. Now, what you would then do is you would reel off a number of very clear questions that are completely outside the scope of the person who you're meeting with to be able to answer. They may not know the answers to these things. In fact, if you can show them that to answer these questions truly requires a discussion with the person that you've asked to meet, because it's right in their ballpark, and if it's clear to the person that you're meeting with that the complexity of the question and the number of the questions might actually be too great for them to do a good job at passing along, they might then volunteer to say, you know what, this does sound like it's a bit of a deep dive. So how about I do arrange for you to meet them? And you can say, that'd be great. How about you come with me? I want there to be complete transparency in the discussions that I have with this other contact. Customers who are a little bit territorial about their power will always respect the opportunity for you to go with them to meet with other people and be fully transparent in what's going on with those discussions, because they want to stay at the center of the power. And it's also very practical for you to do that, because if they've been formally delegated the role to be the coordinator for looking at different suppliers and helping their company make a decision along those lines, then it's absolutely critical that they be apprised of all the information that is being passed in and out of that business related to this purchase. So don't get cute. Don't try to push them to the sidelines while you start building a relationship with somebody else. Make sure that they're involved front and center with you in talking to these other people. It's highly practical and politically sensitive to be able to do that. In fact, some of these customers will quite warm to the idea if you ask them, before I go and meet with that person, there's a number of questions and a number of issues that I would typically ask somebody in that role. If you could arrange a meeting within the next couple of weeks, what I'd like to do is have a preliminary meeting with you to prepare for that meeting with them, where you act as if you're them, and there's a number of questions that I would like to ask you just to see if I'm asking them the right way and get any guidance from you on their personal style, just to make sure that I'm making the best use of time as they're meeting with us. And make sure that any problems that you can anticipate, we can be prepared for. What starts to happen then is it's more about you and your current contact acting as we, right? We are going to go and make a contact with this other stakeholder. We are going to prepare for that meeting. We are going to do a great job when we're in their office talking to them, rather than you still being the outsider trying to network around, right? It changes the whole focus. So try to create allies from some of these gatekeepers and people that might be otherwise termed as a roadblock, because if you can show them that there are real issues that need to be discussed with the people who are ultimately at the heart of this decision, which might not currently be represented on the evaluation criteria, then it's to their benefit to introduce you. It's to their benefit to learn from that discussion process so they can do a better job of discovery next time a similar project comes up. But by doing that, and by going with you and introducing you to other people, the benefit to you is that you've got somebody on the inside who's saying to their colleagues, I recommend that you meet with this person. When I've met with other salespeople, honestly, this is the one who stood out. They asked me really compelling questions that I couldn't answer. I think they might really be an expert in this field. When they make that recommendation to one of their colleagues that they meet with you, and that's how they've painted you, then the stage is already set. Your reputation precedes you, and it's because you've done a good job of showing that you understand not just the issues of the person you're talking to today, but the issues of the other people who are likely to be truly influential in making this decision. The guy you're meeting with wants to do a good job for them. They want to bring good value to them because they're influential, right? They're powerful guys. So the better you make them look, the more they'll introduce you around. So rather than just being satisfied at talking to one or two people, understand who else is involved behind the scenes. Where did the pain start from? If this is an issue that's rippling through the organization, what's the center of that ripple? Who's the first person that started jumping up and down saying things need to change? And wherever it is that you've come in to that conversation, and whoever you're talking to, work back to the center of the ripple and find the people at the heart of the issue. They're the ones that you most need to get to. And by offering to partner with whoever it is that you're talking to today in doing a good job digging a little bit deeper into their needs, the needs of the person at the heart of the issue, you bring value to them, and you bring greater control to yourself in positioning as a salesperson that not only adds value, knows the right questions to ask to the right people at the right time.